I would want to remember that my elders always told us that the land is our most important teacher, that in all of these trees and the birds and the chipmunks is really our library. That's where all of our knowledge is. And as a field biologist, I also know that. That's for me the place where traditional knowledge and science come together, is that the land is the source of knowledge. The land is our teacher. Being a good observer, I think, is a critical way of being a good student of the land. We have pretty high technology in our brains, in our eyes, in the way that we smell, in the way that we sense things. There was a time when all beings spoke the same language, when the trees and the chipmunks and the chickadees and the bears and the human people all spoke the same language, but that isn't the way it is anymore. And so if I wanted to know in the old days, white pine, what is your life like? What kind of soil do you need? How much water do you need? Our elders say that in the old days you could ask and we'd understand each other. But because we have lost that ability, for me, science is a way of having a conversation with that white pine. That I can't ask the white pine what kind of soil it wants. So I go look. So I go look and find what is the soil like under a white pine that's doing well. If I see a white pine that isn't doing well, I might look at that soil and say, well, is it too wet? Is it too dry? Is the pH wrong? So observing is a way that you can answer these questions that you can't ask directly. One of the other things that I find as a scientist, as a field biologist, to be really useful is a notebook. And I have so many different kinds of notebooks depending on what it is that I want to know. If I'm interested in the way that, say, the growth of these trees changes from year to year, I'm going to keep a calendar sort of log. It's going to be really important to me to know, what day was this? What was the weather like? What was the growth pattern of this? Had it broken bud yet? Were there insects on the trees? All those careful observations might need to be organized by time. Because there's nothing worse as a scientist than getting back to the lab and finding out that you didn't record the things that really were important.